Wow, and we're live. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. How's our heads? How's our minds? Are we staying out of trouble, Nick?
I'm always staying out of trouble. You know me.
When have you ever gotten in trouble?
I almost got arrested a couple times, but I'm that guy that always leaves the party 10 minutes before the cops get there. You know, I got pulled over with a few drinks in me once, talked my way out of it.
Have you ever gotten caught beating off?
Yeah, one time. Mm-hmm.
Really? By who?
A roommate in college.
What do you do?
He was pretty chill about it.
You just like walk in and
I actually caught him like 3 weeks before that. I walked in on him, so we were like, okay, we're even.
Hold on. What's like the etiquette? Do you like close the door, or do you like just bombard yourself in?
Well, this was like when the internet was only on computers that you sat at.
Yeah.
So he just walked in. I was in the computer area.
Well, you're lucky for you. Today is the porn episode.
Oh.
And we have the man, the king of porn.
The king,
the guy who basically started porn on the internet.
Really? He's not that old.
Vic Lagina is on the World Saving Podcast. What's up, Vic? How you doing?
Good. How are you both? Thanks for having me on.
Vic, why don't you tell our audience exactly your resume for said porn stuff?
Okay, so I was a producer and director in adult entertainment.
Sorry.
We don't call it porn.
Yeah. For 20 years, 16 of which were with a little company called Brazzers.
Oh my God.
That I started with them before they were even Brazzers. I was like the OG producer for them. And
I know it well.
You must know my work very well.
So you're a producer, you're a director. I heard you're an actor in some, maybe?
No,
never.
No,
Rick Rubin.
No, my background was all production. I have 6 years of useless higher education in film production. And I just made a couple wrong turns that led me into the world of porn.
Adult entertainment.
So I grew up in the Valley. I grew up in Chatsworth area. I know all about the productions. My first job in high school was working in a porn house. I was a security guard and made sure I had to clean up the douchebags.
Aftermath, if you will.
Yeah, the aftermath. I did have to do that and make sure no one stole anything. And it kind of deflated my view of porn because I didn't realize how I thought it was just like a one-take thing, but you guys stop and press play. Why don't you give everyone the action takes of like being a producer and being a director and what it takes to make a great adult entertainment film
segment.
Absolutely. I just so you know, I dealt with a lot of yous in my day when I was shooting on location.
Yeah, what were they like? What were they all like?
The same thing. They would always like have to worry about people not stealing shit, cleaning up after, the typical. But to answer your question, and it wasn't always like this. It took me a while to level up and, have a studio with a crew and everything like that. But in the beginning, when it was just me, girl shows up, you have her fill out the paperwork, and then, depending on if there's a script involved, and there were scripts involved, unfortunately, and that's what consumed most of those days. But basically, after they go through hair and makeup, if you're lucky enough to have a hair and makeup artist that day, then they then go through the pretty girls, the glossy photos, the touched up nice images that usually went on box covers or later in the internet world in design. And then you do the acting part and you take pictures of that, and then you take video of that, and then you do the hardcore stills, and then that is kind of like the choreography of the scene. So when you shoot the video, both performers know exactly what you want and you're able to bang through it. But yeah, a typical day like that could take about 8 hours.
All right. Hope you're enjoying the interview, but a quick message from our buds. Hey, musicians, are you playing shows but have no clips to show for it? Our new sponsor, Jam Cut, is changing the content game for bands and artists all over. I'm telling you, we really need this, actually, because I edit all my videos when I'm on the bus, and it's a pain in the fucking ass. Just upload whatever video and audio you have, whether that's phone clips, camera footage, or board audio, and Jam Cut automatically syncs it all over together so you can start cutting clips from the best parts of your shows or jam sesh. Dude, I'm telling you, how many times I waste fucking just editing my own video on Instagram Reel? I could be finding a girlfriend. I don't know. And guys, this isn't another AI slop video app. This startup was made by 3 musicians out of Denver, and they built it with love for the craft, you know, and we're supporting Denver. We're supporting Denver businesses, which is important to me in this scene. So Jamcut's online editor lets you and your entire band put your own creative spin on it. It tracks each musicians for tight vertical crops, adds smooth pans and zoomed plus transitions, separates your audio into stems, and has sick effects that react to the music you're playing. Jamcut turns one show into a week's of content. This is huge. Actually, honestly, no bullshit. This is huge because sometimes we only get these like shitty one video iPhone videos, and Jamcut can actually cut it into something worth posting. So take it from me. It's fun as hell to use. Your first month is free. Just tell them I sent you. Use the code Frasco and experience the future of live show video editing. So get yourself out. Go to fucking Jamcut, all right? Hey, boys, what about Jamcut?
Yeah.
We love it. We fucking love it.
Have you ever
That was
had
Norm.
something go down where you agreed with something with the agent of one of these film people or actresses or actors, and then they come to the scene and they don't realize they're about to have like a 10-person gangbang?
No, never. It was never that extreme at all because, you know, me being in Vegas and I had to usually fly a lot of people into LA. And I'm a very production oriented, very detailed oriented individual that they always had their information before they even stepped on a plane to avoid those issues. But
Right.
you do have a lot of these agents who are just not worth a damn that didn't transfer the information properly. And then sometimes you have situations where girls show up and they're like, yeah, I don't want to work with her. Or it could get complicated at times. And I'm a pragmatist and, you know, we're there. So let's figure it out and let's make our money. I mean, that was really the way it went.
So my question is, from being educated in college into going straight into porn, what happened, Vic? What happened?
Where did I go sideways? You know, all of my bad decisions in life involve hot women who are really good in bed, who are not really good for relationships.
Oh, you
And
like toxic
that's what
women.
started. I did like toxic women until I was engaged to one. And then after I kicked her to the curb, I swore off toxic women. Of course, I was dating in porn, so I wasn't really abiding by it, but I didn't commit to them like I did to the engagement I was in. But to answer your question, the one that got me kind of in this hole, it was actually music related. Okay,
yeah.
This was early 2002. I'm living in LA. I can't make ends meet. And my girlfriend at the time, she was like a SAG actress, but she decided she wanted to be Feminem, the white female rapper.
Oh no.
And I thought it was a great idea. So like an idiot, I funded her demo.
Oh no.
And I got myself into a lot of credit card debt. And that's kind of where this
Were
whole
you in love
porn
with this girl?
story started. I thought I was, but I was probably just. I think the whole deal was we were trying to make it as like the Hollywood couple that was going to go to LA and kick some ass, and it went the way that normal stories go. You get chewed up, you get spit out, you get the shit beaten out of you, and then you find yourself answering an ad on adult staffing, put up by a Mexican kid with a speech impediment, looking for a director for his porno movie. So I applied and I got the job, and that's where all of this shit
There you
started.
go.
American dream.
Francis Ford Coppola had a
American
very,
dream right there.
very similar story.
Okay, a lot of questions. Okay.
Mhm.
Has any shoots you've done just grossed you out? Like, why am I doing this? Is crazy. This is like you're burnt out, you're tired. You know, like, or was like the money so good that you didn't even care that someone was like shitting on somebody?
I mean, you get used to that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you get desensitized by the shit. You get desensitized. The more prolapsed anuses you see,
Ew.
the more you're just kind of like, yeah,
Ugh.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. That was kind of it for me. I think the burnout really happens over time. When third ownership took over the company and the shoots were more about clickbait rather than sex or the women, it was about the ads that were going on Pornhub. That's what really started grinding me down, because at some point I was like, what the fuck are we even doing? Like some of the concepts that we were doing, I'm like, I mean, are people jerking off to this? Like, or is
Like
this all about marketing?
What was it? What were they?
So at one time there was, and I've been doing this web series on my Instagram, Vic Lagina's Tales from the Filthy Trenches, where I actually pull footage addressing this stuff. And there was one chick, her name was Yvette Bova. She was a 56-year-old black bodybuilder with bad knees. And I mean, she was very nice, but she couldn't do reverse cowgirl because she did too many squats in her days and her knees were bad. But I'm thinking like, what are we doing? Like, I have no idea what we're dealing with anymore. So it was a lot of that. They started this website called Little Humpers, which was like small in statured men with large in statured women. And I mean, it's comedy, but I'm like, whoa,
people are beating off to this.
This
isn't like
There's something for everybody out there, I guess.
Or just maybe they're just so desensitized with just regular sex that they have to go towards this other stuff,
like
right?
drugs.
Probably. I mean, but like, you have to remember what Brazzers was founded on. The biggest stars, big boobs. Right. It was big boobs, big chested porn stars, and that's what it was for a while. Then they start going into the big dicks, like MILFs like it big, teens like it big butts like it big, like all of this like it big stuff. And then you get butts, but then something happened, and I think it really came down to this clickbait shit that started happening over time. And that's where I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I really don't.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And it's like, also, when porn became free, like, how did you make money?
So the company I started with, there was a bunch of frat bros from Montreal that knew how to market porn on the internet. Now, this was in the very beginning when you had websites, and they always marketed with pictures because pictures was big back then. But then once I started working with them, I mean, eventually with my hard work and their smarts and ingenuity, it started blowing up. And then around 2007, they went to some sort of symposium with the expert, who was the biggest expert of internet porn. And he said, tube sites are coming. There's nothing you can do about it. So what do? They start Pornhub. And from there, they start, expanding even bigger. So because I was under this umbrella, even though I was working still in pay sites, I wasn't affected by that. I was really in the company that was making all the traffic money from Pornhub.
What were the years when porn was really profitable?
I mean, it seemed like even though we had a recession, apparently in like 2008 to 2010, I had no fucking idea because it was that busy. I mean, I was knocking out 25 to 35 shoots a month.
Jeez.
As a producer with multiple directors under me. And, look, it was feeding all of their sites. Eventually, those original owners, who I like them. If I have any fond memories, it's of those dudes. But then they wanted to start families. They wanted to get out of the porn game. So they sold the company to a guy who created like clicking software for websites. And that dude took out loans from Wall Street and started buying up every profitable company that there was. So now you've got this umbrella that is just expanding to virtually everything in porn. Wow. And so money was never a problem. I mean, they were throwing so much money. I was doing 4 live shows a week.
How much were you making a year at your peak?
Healthy 6 figures.
Wow. Shit.
And that's for a dude that's not performing. That's for a dude that's literally a producer, a director, and a cameraman. I was just
you're the
guy running it
too?
Yeah. No, I'm a good cameraman, actually. I got really good at it.
Hey, man, someone's got to do it.
Okay.
Might as well be someone good at it.
As a director, this is your art.
Mm-hmm.
When your actors and actresses are giving you a lackadaisical effort, do you cut it and say, do you yell at them like, I need more effort out of you. I need to believe this. Like, how do you get them to like, it's like their third shoot of the day and you need them to fucking inspire you, Vic. How would you do it?
Well, there's never any yelling on a porn set because the best way you get a flaccid dick is by yelling. The best way you get like a performer who is upset. Like the last thing you want is a performer getting upset and crying. Okay, because that's like your day is going to be just about ruined. So it was all about keeping it calm. But you get to know these people over time. You get to know their little picadillos. You get to know how to talk to them, and really, you just say, "Look, we got to bring up the energy a little bit." And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. All I could do was just say, "Hey, head office, this chick she just kind of phones it in." And the response would be either, "Thanks for letting us know, but it doesn't matter because she's so hot and she sells well. So it doesn't matter how she's doing, you know?" But yeah, I mean, it was really just a matter for me. I wanted everyone to come back. I wanted everyone to have a good time. I wanted everyone to speak glowingly of Vic Lagina and their time in Las Vegas, because when you have that, you have longevity, and it worked
Right.
for a very long time.
So what was your go-to? Like, how would you talk to him? Would you talk about, yeah, go in there, little Miller? Like, do you talk like, do you have like a voice, or do you just like?
No, I'd be like, if it came to the part where it was just like boring, I'm like, I'd hit pause, I'd stop. I'd be like, "Okay, everyone, we need to like bring it up a little bit, a little more vocal. It's too quiet."
So
in
you're
here.
optimistic.
Let's,
You're
uh,
just
choir
like
director almost.
you're like a choir, yeah,
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
choreographer.
This doesn't sound that much different than the music industry, by the way.
So do you have a rhythm for your shows? Do you, or for your movies? Do you like know exactly what position, like the arc of a film? Like, do you start with missionary, then you go to writing, and then you finish with doggy? Like, what's your philosophy on a good porn video?
Well, it depends on the motif of the site. If it's a boob site, then there's certain positions you have to get, like reverse cowgirl, where the boobs are moving around all the time. If
Word.
it's a butt-centric, then it's regular cowgirl. So it really all depends. Plus, they would send scripts down that had pictures of the positions they wanted. Sometimes a dude would be like, "Yo, man, I can't do that position." "Yeah, why?" Well, my dick's curved to the right, so I can't do that one." I'm like, "Fair, okay." So you'd
Holy
have to,
shit.
yeah, you'd have to make adjustments as time went on. But I mean, I kind of just knew what I needed. I knew what positions look good in pictures and in trailers and in ads. So yeah, we had to deal with it. I mean, you learn a couple things when you're dealing with a squirter. That when she's about to squirt, you give it a good 6 to 8 feet of wide berth, so you don't get any splash
That's
on
what
yourself
that's
or
what I
the
was
lens. Yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask. If you accidentally got like splashed on or like cummed on.
So I would always wear flip flops on set,
Oh my god.
and that's not really
Jesus
that's
Christ.
that's ill advised.
What the
Ill
fuck,
advised
Vic?
on
What the
sporting suits.
fuck, Vic?
Now that's a wiki
I'm a
feet
comfort.
shirt.
I'm a
Okay,
comfort man,
so
dude.
what
Like,
happened? What happened
completely
with your flip flops? Jesus Christ.
Well, no, it's just you feel the warm liquid on your toes, but that's not the worst of it. The worst of it is that I was shooting a scene with this well-known squirter. They were in the pile driver position, which, if you're not familiar, she's like on her back, her legs are straight up, and I've got Johnny Sins pile driving downward. Okay. So the optimal
Johnny
angle for that is shooting above, shooting downward into the pile driver. Well, he took his dick out and it hit my camera, hit my beard. I had a really thick beard at the time.
What shit?
And
Feces?
no, squirt, squirt. The liquid squirt
Oh yeah.
went all over me. And so I calmly put my camera down and I said, "I'll be right back." And I
Oh my
walked down the hallway, and my wardrobe girl's passing me, and she sees this. I've got this scowl on my face. She's like, "What happened?" I go, "She pissed on my face." And I went right to the bathroom, hot water, soap, scrub, scrub, scrub. But this is the deal, man. You rub some fucking dirt on it, you get back in the game.
Hell yeah.
Went back in the room, picked up the camera, finished the scene. And she's like, "I'm sorry, I squirted on your face." I go, "Well, you should know you were the first woman ever to squirt on my face, and you are forgiven. So how about you meet me in my office? Let's get paid." Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
All right, I think I've talked everything about the old porn. Now I want to talk about the new porn. What's your
Yes.
take
Sure.
on OnlyFans versus Chaturbate?
Chaturbate is what? Just the texting and stuff?
No, it's the first live streaming of porn. but it wasn't. It was just like you just tip. You're not doing like a monthly subscription versus OnlyFans.
Okay.
Why do I know so much about all this shit?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I don't know, Andy. Why do you know so much about
I
this?
think you know more than he does.
So
Yeah, well, I mean that's quite possible because I am not a consumer and I have very little interest in a lot of it. But I will tell you,
I'm crying.
I will say for the first couple of years of the pandemic, those who spent their time in the porn trenches were doing very well because they had this established brand and people are now paying them directly because that was the model. But when everyone and their mothers decided to start an OnlyFans and you had this super saturated market, then the profit started dwindling a little bit. But I mean, look, I like the fact that a lot of performers who did spend their time in the trenches can make all of the money because, as I said earlier, it used to be they got paid one fee,
Right.
and that was it.
Right.
Now they can make all the money in the world. But we are in the dumpster fire phase of OnlyFans. We are,
really?
you know.
Really?
Well, think about it. You got that Bonnie Blue shit going on with 1,000 guys. You've got, and these aren't even real because it's all staged, but you have like the girls doing the nursing home tours.
Oh wow.
You know, where they're going around and
What's that?
oh yeah, they're going around and fucking the older people in the nursing homes. Yeah,
Wow.
The fuck?
yeah,
That's
like
gotta be a write-off.
It's come to the whole thing of like of shock value. That's really where we are.
Well, that's that's what I'm talking about. The desensitization of
The
porn.
incest stuff too is like crazy.
Yeah, it's like you have to take your brain to this crazy thing. Like I was also going to ask you about like when you're making like aggressive porn. Like when is it? When do you have to say like cut? This is fucking crazy. You know, this is you guys are beating the shit out of each other.
There was times in the early, like around 2009 to 2011, they literally wanted me to shoot this thing called Shame on Her, which was essentially consensual rape. And I said, no, I'm not shooting this at all.
God.
So then
people like that
they
shit?
dumped,
dude,
they dumbed it down to something called
That's
porn
fucking
star
insane.
punishment. Yeah, it was called porn star punishment. And it was like where the performers were like supposed to be punished for doing something stupid. And that was kind of short lived because you're dealing with like a lot of sometimes lines being crossed. And the only way I knew how to deal with that is by having a conversation. And again, say these three things and we know we've got a problem. Cut, no, stop. And we were trained in compliance. Like it got to the point too, where if a performer wanted certain things that were rough, because there were performers who said they enjoyed this type of sex. If they wanted to be choked, they have to say verbally, choke me. If they wanted them to spit on their face, spit on me. Like they had to just verbally say it in order for it to be consensual. And we were trained in compliance and consent because in pay sites, if it wasn't consensual, they couldn't release on the website because the credit card companies would flag it and say it was non-compliant.
Right.
So that's what we were trained in. But I don't know if you know much about what's going on right now with Pornhub and all of the rules that are happening. Are you familiar at all?
No.
Okay. So I'm glad I'm no longer with the company because a lot of what was going down
Brazzers
after
is
my
Pornhub?
departure. Well, Brazzers was a pay site that was under the main company called MindGeek, and Pornhub was one part of MindGeek.
Okay,
So
like sister
yeah.
Sister company.
But a lot of the stuff that I shot would eventually be chopped up and put on Pornhub anyway. But there was a New York Times article in late 2020. This was two months after me and them part ways. And we didn't part ways well. It was not a pretty divorce, despite 16 years of loyal service and dedication and making them a fuck ton of money.
Right.
This New York Times article comes out that says, yeah, there are trafficking victims of Pornhub. And the more you start digging into things, that with the way that the interface was, like if you're a piece of shit creator, user, uploader, you can, and put your mind in the worst place possible. You could shoot some really terrible content. You could upload it to Pornhub without any checks or balances. And the people that were screening it were in Cyprus, Greece, working 10-hour shifts and going through like literally thousands of pieces of pornography with no IDs and just having to visually say, they're not old enough, but they might be old enough. And this was going on for a very long time on Pornhub. Yeah,
that's fucked
This is why I tell people, I'm like, look, you have a lot of options when you masturbate. So just choose wisely. You know, do you want to support that? Or do you want to support a performer or creator directly?
Oh, so
or do you want to just pay for porn? OnlyFans, or do you want to get a membership to Brazzers? But the thing is now, like, you've got these age verification laws all throughout.
I was going to ask you about that.
Well, okay, let's get into it, because look, I don't have kids and I've been asked this question a bunch of times, but I do know when I was a young man in the 90s and I wanted to purchase this type of material, there was always the guy at the convenience store where the magazines were behind him, or the video store where you have this whole section, adults only. That was the red rope. That was the gatekeeper. But you don't have that anymore on Pornhub. You didn't. You just had, so if you're 12 years old, on your phone, you go to Pornhub and your parents don't have any kind of age limitations on the internet, you could get in and you could watch all of this stuff.
Yeah,
and to be honest with you,
that's not good.
It's not good. It's not good, especially with the more people I talk to about the younger generation and being like informed about sex. You don't want to be taught sex through Pornhub and porn. You don't, because it's not the way to do it. I went through the Delaware County school districts outside of Philly, 10th grade.
Yeah, I went
10th grade.
I went through the Los Angeles public school district.
I went to Catholic school, so I'm fucked.
But at least for me, they had sex education. You learned about the vas deferens and other such parts of the body. You learned about this stuff.
Right.
But yeah, now apparently that's kind of being shut down in a lot of public school districts. So you've got young minds looking at porn to learn about it and have sex, and I don't think that's a good recipe at all.
No. What about putting your ID to watch porn? That's kind of weird to me.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people have that problem, but here's the thing. Okay, so that's what these laws have, unless you have a VPN, which I think that's going to be the next target. The next target's going to be the VPN.
Yeah, the VPN, you could say you're in California when you're in fucking Texas, right? Or whatever.
Right. And that's the workaround. And there's a concerted effort in the media to tell people about VPNs, which I find fascinating, because they're basically saying, yeah, this is how you can get on Pornhub. But okay, so let me ask you this. When it comes to purchasing porn, their business model, or putting your ID in for porn, their business model is a traffic model. Right. Pornhub is a traffic model. The minute you start saying you got to put your ID in, most people will be like, nah, I'm good. And the business model is shot. So the argument that people have is it's an invasion of privacy. It's this, it's that. I'm like, well, okay, but if you go on a pay site, you got to put your credit card down. So what is the difference here?
That's true.
There's an ID attached to that as well.
Vic Lagina, thanks so much for being on the show.
It's like, what the fuck?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, are you the man? And yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll see you in Vegas here pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you again, guys.
Thanks, bud.